Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 648, I believe. That was 649. We'll see. But on this episode, we are talking about getting your mind right when it comes to who you're listening to. We've got to get our mindset right. We really, really do. In this day and age, with all the information we're absorbing, we can go through breakdowns. We can get so confused, so lost, but we forget who we really are. And as you can tell, pretty much this subject is about you become who you listen to. Now, of course, it's not like the only thing you become, but it will have a huge effect on your experience. Those you surround yourself with, those who are in your life. Now, the brain is taking on so much information at any given moment. They say billions sometimes, billions of bits of information every given moment. Now, if that is true, and even if it's not true, let's just presume it is true. I don't even know how they figure that out. But if it were to be true, that is a lot of information. Now, of course, we're not consciously aware of all those bits of information. That is your wonderful best friend of your unconscious mind that filters out that information. But it will filter out that information based on a select form of criteria. Usually the beliefs we hold about ourselves and the world, our values that we have, the memories, in other words, our past experiences, our personality traits and profiles, the language and the culture that we've been brought up in, will dictate how we decipher that information all around us. Now, all of those filters are not conscious. They are unconscious. So if your unconscious mind is filtering out information in a way that is not productive, of course, that will mean you're not seeing the truth. So the noise around us is going to have a big, big effect on how we show up. When it comes to our goals, when it comes to our dreams, when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to our health, when it comes to our career, when it comes to our business. All of this stuff is being almost molded because of the noise that we experience, the sound of who are we listening to. You see, you've heard me say this before, and this is why we're going deeper in it today, but you are the sum of those you surround yourself with. They usually say, and it's just made up, it's a nice little quote, you are the sum of the 5 closest people. But it's pretty tricky when we go, well, who is the closest people in our life? Because you're not the sum of the 5 closest people. You are the sum of who you're listening to. Now, way back in the day, it was probably those people in your life that you would become, that you are the sum of those people. But in this day and age, we've got a whole new level of noise. And I'm going to categorize it into 3 phases. And the new phase over the last, predominantly the last, 15, 20 years. I mean, before that, obviously, we've had different medias of it or different vehicles of it. But the first thing we're going to talk about today about who we're listening to is going to be the external. Like the far out world external. And that can come in a few forms, right? So let's just class this as old school would be mainly the news, right? So we had the newspapers, we had the TV, we had the radio. All of those things would be categorized as the news and the media. But now, of course, we know that we have things like social media. And here's the disclaimer. When I'm talking about who are you listening to, I'm on social media. So I'm also including myself in this one. Really have the discernment of my thoughts, my ideas. Do not take them on uncritically. Like, you have to be awakening, or you have to awaken to what is yours and what is not yours. This is my stuff. If you choose to get some convenient assumptions based on the things that I say, then great, but weigh it up. Don't take on anything as truth from me. Other than the truth, this is my personal truth. There's the way that I try to live by. And I'm still human. I will still trip up. I will still go through things. And we learn from that. But please become aware that there is so much media today that you are being hypnotized at a very deep level, whether it be through marketing, whether it be through the noise, whether it be through fear, whether it be about dividing. Look, we're divided because of social media more than ever. And I'll tell you why. We usually only hear the loudest of the loud. The loud on one side and the loud on the other, the polar opposites. We rarely get to listen or hear the majority, which is somewhere in the middle, right? And it's not politics, there's just communication. But in this day and age, we are really hearing the loudest of the loud, whether it be on one side or the other. And it doesn't matter. Once again, we've got to wake up to the fact that whatever it is, whether it be the news, whether it be advertising, whether it be the social media, you have to have that discernment and that awakening and knowledge that, look, what is the agenda here? What is the agenda of all the things that I'm seeing? Because there is an agenda. And by agenda, we can break it down to intention. I'm not going all like weird conspiracy stuff here. I'm just talking about the intention behind all of this stuff. Because there's going to be some good and great ones, right? There's going to be people you watch online who are trying to help you, or podcasts that you listen to, whatever it is. Like, there's so much goodness in the world that you can absorb. So we're not talking about just negative noise. We're not just talking about just positive noise. We're talking about how we experience the world on that big external level. But we have to be aware of the agenda, or nicely put, the intention behind each one of that level of noise, whether it be the media, whether it be social media, in other words, news and social media, whether it be the people. So we can have like the macro level of the social media companies, or we can have the micro level, those who live within the social media, like our friends who we've not seen for a long time, but we're like absorbing their information, we're paying attention to their noise. Once again, I'm not saying good or bad here. Only you can decipher and decide if that's of value to you, if that's good for you. And we're going to go through a mini idea and a mini process of getting into this. We're going to get our mind to a place of understanding each one of these levels. So let's just say, look, we've got this big external noise, which we never really had way back in the day. And where it be hundreds of years, we are now inundated with so much noise, and we take it on as a truth. Now, the second level, or the second phase, is going to be the people who are in your life. These are the real people. These are going to be the neighbors that you see every day. It's going to be your parents or your siblings. It's going to be your colleagues. It's going to be your boss. It's going to be your clients. It's going to be your employees. It's going to be your children. It's going to be those who are in your life. So if we have a goal and dream, we will be manipulated based on other people's idea of that dream most of the time. Because we're human, once again. So there's lots of people in our life who do not have the dream that we have. Let's say you and I, we have a dream. And that dream is to be able to start up our own business. Or, let's take that as an example. Or to increase your business. So we'll go the twofold there. Well, maybe your neighbor has never run a business. Maybe they have and it failed. Maybe they have and it succeeded. Maybe we can put the same three scenarios of have never done it, have done it, but failed, and have done it and succeeded. We can put those three phases into the people that we know, whether it be our children, whether it be our siblings, whether it be the neighbor, whether it be our parents and all the employees. Maybe not the employees. Maybe they had a business, but now they didn't like it. But we start to get like manipulated by their perception of it. Now, is that right or is it wrong? It doesn't matter. Only you can decide. Like, there could be great intentions there, but we have to be conscious of it. And that's the theme here. You have to be conscious of the intention, positive or negative. Like I said, we're not saying one's bad or one's good because they can be either or, but we have to be conscious of our mind. We've got to be conscious of the people's minds, their perception for your dream. Because let's just say they don't have that dream. Of course, they might doubt that dream, and therefore, if they say it enough, you might believe that too. But it's your dream. So we have to protect our dream. We've got to share our dream in many different ways, but mainly protect it by not sharing sometimes. So an example of this is last year when me and Melissa, like, we're amazing friends, we separated and things like that, and ultimately we made a conscious decision, because we're best friends and we love and support one another's as a friend, and like where each of us are heading, we decided not to tell people about what's going to happen. We really kind of held it back in such a way that we didn't want to be influenced by other people. We didn't want to be influenced by our family, because our family have whose attention or intention for us, each one of us, and we see all these things go crazy. So we're like, no, let's keep this as a sacred experience. Let's keep this as a way that allows us to share an experience and grow from it without being manipulated by other people. So whether you're going through something or whether you have a dream, it is important to share it with the right people, because not everyone's going to get your dream. Not everyone's going to understand what you're going through. And when we do share and we do start to get that idea that, look, we're being manipulated by other people's agendas or perception, whether it be positive or negative, and it has an effect on us, it makes us feel like we're disconnected. It makes us feel like we're a little bit lost. It makes us feel like that actually we don't feel like we belong, because we have our goals and our dreams, we have our ideas, we have all these things, and if someone doubts us, they're doubting our identity, because it's your dream. Now, not that dreams are your identity, but if that is so important to you, that is your desire, and then someone says something like that, it can knock you off. It can cause you to be off target. It can cause you to feel not good. It can cause you to have that fear of failure. It does cause you to think, look, maybe I'm not able or capable or worthy or deserving, and that's not true. You see, if you didn't take that advice or that perception, whether it be true or not, and then you surrounded someone who believed in you and lifted you up, maybe you would have gone for that dream. Maybe you'd do it right here and right now, that you'd do that. So it depends on the cycle, it depends on the person, it depends on who we're surrounding ourselves, whether it be on that big global scale of the social media, whether it be about the news, all that stuff, or the people in our life. No judgment on them, but you have to awaken to the intention behind what they say and what they do when it becomes your experience, when it becomes your life, when it becomes your dream. Sometimes other people's opinions of your goals and dreams are none of your business. They really aren't. Other people's opinions on who you are as a person is sometimes none of your business. If you feel like you're living true and you have that goal and dream to do whatever you want to do, then do it. Don't be swayed by the external sound, and we're going to get into it even a little bit deeper, because the third phase, if we think of the externals, the social media and the news and all those external things beyond the real connection, and then we've got the people in our life, the other one is your unconscious mind. This is where you and your unconscious mind have to be connected. Because if we take on those first two phases into our world, it will start to make you feel more disconnected from your unconscious mind. You'll start to get into that resentment, that guilt, or that feeling of I should have, or I could have, or I didn't, and I feel guilty, and I feel not heard, I don't feel seen, I don't feel felt. And then we start to get so disconnected from our unconscious mind that it causes us to go, look, let's just give up. So your mission should be to get connected with your unconscious mind, to allow the inner noise of you to be so loud and so bright that it drowns out all other sounds. Now, of course, you can take on other people's thoughts and ideas for you. You can, absolutely, 100%. But do so in the knowledge that it's their perception. Take on what is good. And like I said, even about my stuff, even about my work, we're 649 or so episodes into the podcast. We've had over 11 million downloads, and I like to think it's good, but even though we've had those downloads, don't take on everything I say. Understand it. What am I trying to say? Is it convenient to you? Is it going to add value to you? Is it going to allow you to get connected with more of your unconscious mind? If it doesn't, then let it go. Start to filter. Wake up to what is really happening. Because that internal connection with your unconscious mind, once you connect to it, once you realize that you are whole, that you are peace, that you are love, that you are worthy, that you are deserving, that you're capable, that you're of value, that you're unstoppable, that you can achieve the goals and dreams that you desire. When you come from that place, it doesn't matter about the noise. It doesn't matter what storm is coming your way. It doesn't matter if that internal dialogue is going, look, you can't handle the storm. You can't do this. You go, look, I am the storm. I'm going to do what has to be done. I'm going to make the change. I'm going to do all that is in my power to change my circumstance, knowing the circumstance is just showing up this set of things which are happening right now. That's all it is. It is not the only way. It's not the thing which is always stuck and still. It can be modified just like you. You are adaptable, you are moldable, you're bendable, you are able to achieve all these goals if you put your mind to it by becoming conscious of the noise. As I said, we've taken over like 2 billion bits of information per moment, per second. So what are we filtering? Are we filtering out the negative? Are we filtering out the positive? Are we filtering out what can be done? The opportunities where people have succeeded? The situations where people have overcome what you're presently going through? Or are we going to take advice solely on people who don't have your goal and dream? You got to wake up to your own truth. Notice the trends. Notice the stories that we tell ourselves. Notice the stories that we've been told over and over again that we've started to take on. Because when you do, that is when you start to awaken. That is when you start to experience a new perception. That's when you start to wake up every single day. So here's what we're going to do very quickly. Unless you're driving, then don't do this. That's the disclaimer. If you can, and if you're safe to do so, go ahead and close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, it's not any hypnosis or anything like this, just a mental exercise. As if you're in this present moment, look through the eyes of, say, the news. As if you're stepping outside of you and you're looking through the eyes of the news and the media. Notice intention. Is it totally true? And the real thing I want you to think about is this. When you look through the eyes of, say, the media, and we'll do social soon, but the media, does it lift you up or does it pull you down? Just make a mental check. looking through the eyes of the media, however you do it symbolically, does it lift you up or does it pull you down? Okay, now imagine filtering through and stepping in to the eyes of social media. Whether it be the companies, whether it be the people you've never seen for years and years, looking through the eyes of that, what is the intention? What is the agenda for you? What's the connection to you? Do they know you? Do they love you? Do they support you? Whether it be yes or no, it doesn't matter. But as we filter through as a whole of social media, does it lift you up? Does it pull you down? That's all we're checking. We're checking on our physiology. We're checking on how our body feels, how our unconscious mind feels. Whether it's up or down, it doesn't matter. It's up to us to be aware of this. That's all. Now, go ahead as if you are being surrounded by the people you're most surrounded with, whether it be family, friends, employees, all those things. Imagine if you could just quickly step through just one example of one person, whether they really support you or whether they're just projecting their reality. It doesn't matter. You can do this anytime for other people. But as you look through the eyes of that person or those people, lift you up or bring you down. That's all. Notice the intent and notice the physical feeling of up and down. Great. Now look, let's just have some fun. And this may be where you never listen to me ever again, and that's fine if that's the case. But I want you to imagine looking through my eyes, how I see you, what I want for you in your future. Intention-wise, whatever you feel that is. And as you think about that outcome or that desire, does it lift you up? Is it making you make decisions? Is it making you see different ways of seeing the world? That's my intention, right? Now, if you feel like it lifts you up or it makes you kind of want to do something about your life, then great. If it just, I'm not here to support you, pulls you down, then that's fine as well. It's all up to you. Remember, it's who you're listening to. And then go ahead and imagine looking through the eyes of your unconscious mind for a second. And we're going to do that a little bit different. What does it need from you, your unconscious? Does it feel lost? Does it feel alone? Does it feel like it needs help? Does it feel scared? Does it feel excited? Does it feel happy? Does it feel supported? Does it feel like you are lifting the unconscious mind up? So there's a bit of a change here. Because sometimes we only focus on ourselves, but sometimes we've got to focus on the unconscious mind. You see, these awakenings that we have are just simply being aware of the different perceptions from different things and different people that are causing us to feel good or move in the right direction or make us make good or bad decisions, whatever way it is. You have to be conscious of those things. Because only you can decipher that. Only you can have that conscious awareness and the ability to pinpoint exactly what is happening. So, you become who you listen to the most. It's not just the sum of who you surround yourself with, because there's so much more information these days. And I want you just to wake up and be conscious of that. That's my goal and dream for you. Whether you believe it or not, that's my intention. For you to make a decision in bettering and becoming the real you, someone who is worthy, deserving, and enough to achieve all your desires and dreams. That is exactly what I want. And if you haven't opened your eyes already, you can do, because all I want you to do is just filter through those experiences just for a moment and notice the intention behind it. For when you do, you'll start to see the world differently. You'll start to separate yourself from the experience a little bit more and really know what is happening. So with that, my friends, remember the 3 phases. We've got the external when it comes to like the news, the social media, and there's gonna be other phases as well in other situations, but I just broke it down earlier today in my mind. But we've got the news and the social media. Then we have, so think of that as the worldview. Whatever fills up your worldview, things that you're not really connected to, but you're surrounded by. Then we have that deeper level of the people in our environment. who we're surrounding ourselves with. And then we've got the deeper level of you and your unconscious mind. I want you to focus on filtering out the things we no longer need and the things we do need, no matter what that is. Sometimes we're renting out space to people we never met. Sometimes we're renting out space to things which are none of our business. Sometimes it is, but sometimes, maybe most of the time, it's not. Sometimes we put so much emphasis on other people, other things, that you begin to neglect yourself and your own needs, and that's when we feel regret. I want you to put your focus on you. For when you show up as the real you, I promise you, everyone else will get value from that. Every part of your business, every part of your career, every part of those you surround yourself with will raise up when you raise up, or when you rise up to be the person that you're meant to be. So assume that total responsibility and do what has to be done. Now, of course, as always, if you are a professional, if you're in business, you are ready to get the bigger and greater success that you've ever had, you can always go ahead to josephclough.info/talk and book your call with us. That way, you'll be able to do so, fill out an application that we can review, and then when you get on the call, we'll get clear on what you want to let go of, exactly what you want to achieve, get clear on what's unconsciously stopping you, and then we'll come up with a plan to make it a reality. But we only work with committed professionals, committed people who are ready to be successful, are fully invested in every single way. Has to be. It's got to match my energy. Got to match my ambition and vision for you. So that is josephclough.info/talk. And then finally, if you're not ready for that, because it's only for a select few, only take a few people on a week at the very most, you can go to freehypnosis.app and download the Hypnosis app. It's free to download. You can listen to all the podcast episodes in there. You can go ahead and listen to hundreds of hypnosis sessions. There's over 100 free hypnosis sessions, for that matter. If you see in the hypnosis section, we've got ones in the day, so you can transform in the day, but also you can transform while you go to sleep. You can create the custom tracks, and of course, if you enjoy the app, please go ahead and leave a rating and review. It just means that we can support one another. The more it gets out there, the more I can invest in it and all these things. I'm here to support as many people as possible, and if you can share with me on that journey by sharing a review or the app itself, I'll greatly appreciate you. But with that, my friends, remember, you become who you listen to the most. So choose wisely. Whatever it is, notice, does it lift you up? Does it pull you down? And then we'll go from there. So many thanks and goodbye.